everyone, my name is Caitlin Penny, excuse the awkward microphone setup, and this is Random F1 Race Reviews. So this series is going to be very much what it says on the tin. It's effectively going to be reviews of random F1 races throughout history. I'm going to be making them as funny as possible, and then I'm going to be giving them a score at the end depending on what I thought of them. For the first episode, we head to the 2008 Australian Grand Prix. It's the first round of the 2008 F1 Championship, which is personally one of my favourite seasons throughout F1 history. Pre-season testing took place over 2 weeks, and it left everyone expecting that Ferrari would be the quickest team. However, it was McLaren who put their cars first and third, with 2007 runner-up Lewis Hamilton on the pole position, alongside a shock second place for Robert Kubica in the BMW. Fernando Alonso started 11th in the Renault, whereas the driver he swapped seats with pre-season, Heikki Kovalainen, qualified third in the McLaren. Don't worry, Fernando, I'm sure that's just going to be a one-off dodgy career move, it won't happen again. Kimi Raikkonen started 15th after a fuel pressure problem in qualifying. Obviously, the wrong kind of ice cream was put in the tank. Two drivers made their debut for this race. They were Sebastian Bourdais starting in 17th place, and also son of Nelson Piquet Sr., Nelson Piquet Jr. in 20th place. It was a boiling hot day at Albert Park, and as the race got underway, Lewis Hamilton led into turn 1 followed by Robert Kubica. The first lap of the race was extremely hectic and gave us our first ever additions to the crunch count as Giancarlo Fisichella got flipped up in the air and off into the gravel trap. Another addition to the crunch count is Felipe Massa, who lost control on the exit turn 1 on the opening lap and shunted into the tyre wall, leaving himself with a lot of work to do in the remainder of the race. And I tell you what, that is going to cost him far more than just one championship point. There's also a blink and you'll miss it moment at the edge of the screen as future champions Button and Vettel come together, sending Vettel spinning across the track without his front wing. During that, he also collected Kazuki Nakajima, who carried on without his front wing and ended up contributing our 4th crunch to the count in just 3 corners when he was run into by Anthony Davidson and Mark Webber, sending Davidson into the barrier. 4 crunches in 3 corners. Let me just quickly remind you that these are supposed to be the top guys in the world, and you haven't randomly clicked onto NASCAR or something. There's a short safety car, and when we resumed, Felipe Massa had to stop again due to not being able to refuel under safety car. He would lose a lot of time, but would quickly begin to make his way back up the order. Also on Ferrari watch, Kimi Raikkonen had made his way up into 8th position after the start, however had found himself very stuck behind Rubens Barrichello. This would be a theme for many laps. Adrian Sutil's day went from bad to worse. He'd started from the pit lane and unfortunately now had to retire from the race. I found out today that his dad was Uruguayan, so fun fact I guess? Robert Kubica was the first of the leaders to duck in for his stop, and the BMW mechanics did a decent job. He came out just behind Raikkonen, who is, still stuck behind the Honda. Hope you like Earth Dreams, my friend, because you're going to be seeing that rear wing in your sleep. Oh, wait, he's actually going for it there on the outside of turn 3. Oh, no, still stuck behind the Honda. What about turn 4? No, still stuck behind the Honda. Try again, my friend.
Next year, I'm gonna build a car that can win here. Don't believe me? Just you wait.
Lewis Hamilton pitted at the end of lap 18 and got going again with a humongous lead. Trust me, you won't be hearing much from #blessed today. Here we go, down the inside, and finally, there we go, it only took you 14 laps, jolly good. Maybe teammate Massa will have the same kind of luck on Takuma Sato in the Super Aguri. Oh, or maybe not. No one attacks the Taku. Jarno Trulli looked angry after retiring from the race with an electrical fault. In fact, you could say he looked truly ballistic. There was a close call in the pit lane where Nick Heidfeld was released right into the path of Nico Rosberg, but did manage to jump him for 4th in the effective order. There were further issues for Rosberg as he struggled to get up to speed on his cold tyres, and Alonso ended up mugging him into turn 3. Remember that corner, Fernando? You'll be very familiar with it in a few years. Heikki Kovalainen pitted much later than his teammate Hamilton, as his team kept him flexible to either a 1-stop or a 2-stop strategy. He came out just in front of fellow Finn Kimi Raikkonen, who was yet to stop. For a race of attrition such as this one, it's been a while since we've had an addition to the crunch count as off goes Coulthard. That's a very mangled Red Bull. In fact, it's the last time until Korea 2010 that both Red Bulls will be taken out of a race. Let's hear what David has to say about it.
Thanks for that language, David.
As several cars pit under the safety car, we get another quick addition to the crunch count. Only kidding, I'm not counting that. When the race restarted, Kimi Räikkönen attacked Heikki Kovalainen for second, and then decided he would rather be doing some rallying. The Finn obviously liked the experience, as he went on to do 2 years of the World Rally Championship in 2010 and 2011, actually taking a break from Formula 1 to do so. Felipe Massa's tale of woes continued as an engine failure on lap 29 scuppered any last chance of points that he may have had in this race. Luckily, they were able to recover his car without a safety car. When debutant Nelson Piquet pulled off and retired, Kimi Räikkönen pitted in anticipation of a safety car. The safety car never came despite Takuma Sato also breaking down, but Kimi was fueled to the end. As they're dropping like flies, Kimi Räikkönen very nearly adds himself to the crunch count after braking slightly on the grass trying to fight Timo Glock for 10th place and spins the car off the road. Had he made it to the gravel trap, he would most likely have been the race's 12th retirement. Now who's this coming into the pits? Lewis Hamilton, right, yes, I almost forgot he existed, he was so far out in front. Here he is making his second and final pit stop of the day. Nick Heidfeld had worked his way up to P3 in all of the chaos, and he pitted at what proved to be exactly the right time, as Timo Glock smashed up his car and brought out a safety car.
I'll give that a 7.5 for the jump, 6 for the landing, and an 8 for the spins.
There was a real comedy of errors in the pit lane for Rubens Barrichello. First, he entered the pit lane when it wasn't open yet. Secondly, when the jack was dropped too early, he ended up taking his refueling rig and several mechanics with him. And then, to top it all off, distracted by this, he ran the red light at the end of the pit lane and was later disqualified. No mechanics were harmed in the making of this race review. The timing of the safety car also wasn't ideal for Heikki Kovalainen, who didn't have enough fuel to make it to the end of the race and dropped right to the back of the chain along with Fernando Alonso as they both made late pit stops. The final crunch of the day comes courtesy of Kazuki Nakajima running into the back of Robert Kubica behind the safety car. This put the Polish driver out of the race and dropped the Japanese driver to a lap down. When the race got underway again, it was Lewis Hamilton leading from Nick Heidfeld and Rubens Barrichello, who had taken advantage of the safety car. Rubens Barrichello yet to be disqualified. Kovalainen tried a daring move on Räikkönen, which resulted in him running wide at Ascari, before both of them got mugged by a hard-charging Fernando Alonso. It's hard to believe that without Nakajima's incident, these would actually be the last 3 cars in the order. Also, if you're wondering just how much Kimi Räikkönen's struggling, just listen to how his engine sounds.
That's a limping, prancing horse, without doubt.
He would eventually break down, but would still score a point by virtue of being classified in 8th position. Ferrari have a lot of work to do if they're going to get over this early season engine trouble. Sebastian Bourdais was making an extremely good first impression as he ran in 4th position on his debut, actually holding off Fernando Alonso and Heikki Kovalainen for quite a long time. Unfortunately, with just 3 laps to go, his engine expired and he was forced to come away from the round with just 7 points rather than the 5 that he was on for. Another Ferrari engine up in smoke. Let me just remind you that 4 Ferrari engines got past the opening carnage and 3 of them have expired. Bourdais' retirement left 4th place up for grabs, and Fernando Alonso and Heikki Kovalainen fought over it in the late stages, with Kovalainen getting up the inside of the Spaniard in the final sector. However, the McLaren inexplicably slowed on the start-finish straight, giving Alonso the position. At the end of all of this, it was Lewis Hamilton who came through to win by 5.5 seconds from Nick Heidfeld, and Nico Rosberg took 3rd position in the Williams. Fernando Alonso was 4th, followed by Heikki Kovalainen, Kazuki Nakajima, and then Sebastian Bourdais and Kimi Räikkönen were the last classified points finishers, despite not seeing the checkered flag. I'll give the Driver of the Day award for Best Driver to Sebastian Bourdais. That guy was running 4th in a Toro Rosso, holding off a double world champion on his debut. It's just a shame that his Ferrari engine gave up on him, but to be honest, he couldn't really have asked for a better first impression than that. A Nui trophy for Worst Driver goes to David Coulthard for turning in on Felipe Massa and for using naughty words. I rated the Grand Prix itself a 24 out of 30. It was highly unpredictable with plenty of shock results, and the only thing that kept that from being a 10 out of 10 was the fact that Hamilton was so unstoppable the entire race. In terms of championship implications, not only was this the first round of the championship, thus setting out the provisional order of the league, but also had Felipe Massa finished the race, he would have gone on to be world champion. The on-track racing was slightly less notable, as the majority of this race's excitement were due to various incidents and accidents. However, there were a few good and interesting battles, so I'm giving that a 6 out of 10. Enjoy this old shot of Lewis and Nico hugging and celebrating together, and I will see you next time out for a completely new, random race review.